All right, good morning, YouTube. Welcome back. This is day five. Yeah, day five of the 2K to 10K challenge. I already know that if you guys saw yesterday's video and you've been following along and you've been trying to trade in the same manner, you guys caught this trade too. I'm super excited about this one because it's pretty much identical with the setup we saw yesterday on Euro US dollar, but today on Australian US dollar. I'm gonna break it down, and I've been seeing some questions in the comments about like the time I'm looking to get in, kind of how I'm looking at the charts and stuff. So I'm gonna continue to do my best on a daily basis to answer these questions in the videos. But since today was pretty much, or I mean, this trade was last night for where I'm at, but this trade today that just resolved not too long ago is literally identical, the same exact footprint that the other trade left on Euro US dollar that we just took for our biggest trade on this account. The account is now at $2,977 and some change. This got us just about $205. We are on a 5 trade win streak to kick off the challenge. Clearly, it's a much better place to start the challenge than in some drawdown. Like I said, we're going to try to run this up as much as possible. You guys can see our live MetaTrader 5 account right here with the balance up with this 5th win. So I'm going to break down the trade now. What I'm going to do too is I'm going to go back to Euro US dollar and just show you the exact resemblance between this setup, but it's the same setup we've been taking. And then I also want to go over, don't let me forget, I'm going to draw this on right now, on why you can take it the second day when you see that the previous hadn't necessarily failed. In previous, I mean like right here. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, because you've seen yesterday's video, you're gonna get it here too. And then also in this video, I'm going to go over another pair that had a potential setup. I didn't take it, but I do want to go over it, and I did mark it up on the chart. I think it's still marked up on US dollar Swiss franc, just to show you guys too. Another setup that played out in another way this plays out. It's the same setup. It's just a way of reading the daily candle. I'm going to show you, but something you could look for too. So first things first, let's go to our daily time frame. Now we have to pretend right now that this blue candle's not here because it's technically not when we come to the charts. Now this is going to answer the question of time for some of you a little bit. You guys, I mentioned in one of the videos, I'm looking for the setups typically in Asia. That's when I want to see them because that is the highest probability just from experience of them playing out. But time actually doesn't have as much to do with it. If the setup comes in Asia, if it comes in London, if it comes even in New York, even if I just got to the charts this morning because I didn't find any setups last night or no alerts went off during London, then I'm going to look for them in New York. They play out at any time of the day. This is the important part about time that you need to remember. I'm specifically looking at the charts starting at 5 p.m. because I want to do my chart work in that 1 hour layover, I guess you could say, between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. Spreads widen, so on and so forth. It's preparing before Asia. And the whole idea is this is why this is the only important thing to remember. You just need to be locked in when daily candles close. That's it. As long as you know when daily candles close and you just make sure that your charts are up to date when daily candles are closing, that's the important part. Whether the setup comes in Asia, London, New York, that doesn't matter as much because you have to remember we're trading based off of very specific price points, and those price points, they might get met at Asia, they might get met, in the next day in New York. So as long as they're not like at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, an hour before the market's going to close, or at the tail end of New York in general, you're probably good. But so the most important thing, though, like I said, is you want to just be very super dialed in with the markets and when these daily candles are closing. So on Australian dollar, US dollar, this is right before yesterday. This is where yesterday closed actually before today's candle opened. And this is where we came to on the charts. And I could see, okay, it's kind of the similar play that we had on Euro US dollar. You guys already get this. We have Monday closing higher than Friday and then Thursday. So this is super important to remember. I said this, I think, in my first or second video. it's not just about which candle it closed through immediately, or like the most previous one, because you could see this candle closed beyond this one. It's which candles plural, did this one close beyond that hadn't been taken before. This swing point hadn't been taken or touched. This swing point hadn't been taken or touched. So these are two very important lines for us to basically draw on to our charts. Let me clear that. For swing points that got broken, swing highs that got broken, right? So and I'm going to show you this in the other example and why that's important, but neither here nor there for now. So these are our 2 points that we broke and we closed beyond. Monday closed beyond this point and this point. So I hope that makes sense. Super important to just pay attention to what is the most recent candle closure. The most recent candle closure on AUD/USD is an upward candle close, and it closed beyond these two candles. So these are our 2 points of interest. This is our direction. We're looking for buys, and that's exactly how it's set up. So now I'm going to show you how this day right here, and before the next day even comes, what happens. You guys already know. So this is technically, oh, it just didn't bar replay. So this is technically yesterday, right? Now, this is where we started looking at the charts. We got in the trade down here, started looking at the charts at 5 p.m. when the candle closed. We knew that based on the daily time frame, I'm going to go back here just for 1 second, just bear with me, that this red candle, or Tuesday, did not complete its move higher, right? Because if we were to complete the move higher, where are we going? Same thing as Euro US dollar. We're going to this high, and this candle is just still inside of this ICC range technically. Now, since it did not go and match that high, and this is where we came to the charts, this is the 15-minute chart, this is what I've seen. And this is the same thing on Euro US dollar. The day that it didn't match its high, where it tried to make its move, it tried to make its move down in here. You guys know, down in here is where it tried to make its move, because we closed, this is the correction, we closed lower, we came back above. We came back above in terms of candle closes there too. This trade right here, while it did not finish, you have to understand this trade isn't over. So we technically got a re-entry on a working trade. So you have to understand, had we gotten the trade way down here and then we just dragged it over, this is the same exact trade we were in, and the reason you can still get a re-entry on it as long as you just keep your stop in line with right there. And that's why I had drawn this line on, because you see that point getting respected, meaning this trade, even though it didn't complete its move the prior day, it means it's still active and working. And that's the same thing with Euro US dollar. I'll show you in a minute. But you can see, had we even left this trade on by itself, this trade would have played out to a T without even the re-entry. But since we weren't in that trade, we were in Euro US dollar the previous day. This is where we were at when we came to the charts. We knew that we were still, this trade still had potential to work out. So what did we want? We just wanted a re-entry on the next day. And the same thing with Euro US dollar. We get a close back below right there. And then what are we waiting for? We're waiting for a close back above the break of structure with candle directions changing. That's all we need and all we get. You can see right here is where we get our entry, and then price ends up going up higher and completing the move that it had started the previous day. So I want to be very clear on that. That's super important, because it's not like this move failed. This move did not fail. This move made an attempt up. It came back down, but still respecting it, and it ended up playing out. So I already know some of you guys caught this move, because if you were looking at the daily candles, you knew that this was identical to what the exact same play that we saw on Euro US dollar. And I'm going to show you right now. You guys can see, if you look right here, bar replay it, it's identical. This is identical to the play that we just got on Australian US dollar, that candle that didn't complete the move, this candle that broke higher. And then what did we have right here? We just simply had a re-entry the next day, and you can see that's exactly what happened right here too. This was the first attempt of the move. This did not technically get destroyed or anything. You can see had you had it at the exact pip, you guys have seen my trades have not been at the exact pip. But if you give it that little 2 or 3 pips of breathing room, this is still the working trade that one day that just took an extra day. And then, of course, you guys know we got a re-entry on that for that to actually play out. But this was the same exact trade. You see that? And then you guys know our trade was actually, around in here to get the actual re-entry because it was the next day. So that's the same concept. I hope that makes sense because this trade that was technically a potential trade that we weren't in, it was still being respected. It was still active. It was still working. But enough with all of that. I hope this breakdown helped. I'm going to break down the other pair that I just want to show you guys something on with more of that example. But this was just a phenomenal trade. Price just flying straight to take profit again and just showing us the same exact pattern every single day. But US dollar Swiss franc, I do still have it marked up. This trade hadn't even fully played out, but it is one I was watching, and I'm going to show you why. Because when you have daily candles, this is the same concept. I just kind of want to piggyback on it a little bit. Let me get out of the bar replay. When you have, where is it? Okay. You had Tuesday close lower than quite a few candles. And this is just what I want to show you guys. I want to show you guys how you can mark up your charts on a daily basis to make it easier. So you have Tuesday obviously closing beyond Monday. Now, this is what a lot of people probably do. They just probably draw a line at Monday's low. But like I said, you have to take all the points that hadn't been touched before that it closed through. So this point had been touched. What do I mean? This low had already been taken right here. Now this low had not been taken by anything, and then this day closes through it. So now you have another point of interest. Same thing right here. So what you should have is you should have every price point on the daily that price closed through. Now that gives you your points of interest. It's super mechanical. You don't have to guess. It's either yes or no. It's black or white. And then you have areas for price to pull back up to. Once you go to your smaller time frame, it could pull back up here. It could pull up to the second one, or it could pull all the way up to the third one, and then you're just waiting for a break back below and price to continue lower. And of course, that does happen here. And that's like the same setup, right? You wait for price candle to switch direction and trade back below. Basically, you even get it right there. Then you get short, and then of course you just put your stops and whatnot above there, and then price ends up matching there. And you guys see how over and over again, this is just how the market moves. This is just 100%. Price is just showing you its hand, and then it's matching it. It's showing you its hand, it's indicating, and then it's correcting and matching it. It's just happening over and over again. It's indicating, correcting, and matching it. And whether it takes a day to come through and match it, or it goes just immediately like that, it doesn't really matter if it gets there, right? So I love you guys. I hope this video helped a lot. This is probably one of our longer videos, just by a couple minutes. But I appreciate all the feedback, and hopefully I answered some questions in this video. Continue to drop the questions if you have any, and I'll continue to try to answer them. And I'll also continue to try to keep this streak going. Like I said, I'm trying to top like a 15 streak. If we could hit like a 20, it'd be crazy. The accuracy, you just start to build so much confidence when the trades are just so accurate, and you have like a really clear-cut mechanical way of looking at the charts like this. It makes it easy. Look how clean our charts are. We don't have much on them. So I love you guys. I will see you guys on day 6, but this was day 5. And leave a like, comment, subscribe, share it with people if you're enjoying.